What's up, guys? Flaming Geek here. Suicide Squad. What the fuck is wrong with critics? That movie was really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I highly recommend that movie. Go see it right now. Stop this review and go see Suicide Squad. So, obviously, I'm excited about this film. This movie had so much to live up to. When its initial trailer got released last July at Comic-Con 2015, it essentially won over Comic-Con, and it really put DC kind of up there, and people had higher expectations of it, with the controversy that was Man of Steel, and then recently Batman vs. Superman. This movie had a lot riding on it. If this movie was a success, then the DC Universe could pick up and actually have a little bit of a lighter tone to itself, and more people would be more interested into it. If this movie did not do well, then the DCU would be on red alert status, and there would be a lot of changes being made. But thank goodness this movie did what it was supposed to do. It fulfilled the need for us to finally have a movie that centers around the villains. I'm a huge fan of the Suicide Squad comics. I've been reading them since I was 10 years old, and I read the retro ones from late 80s, early 90s, and such. So I had a lot of expectations for this. When they released the first cast photo, I think it was back in 2015, in the spring of 2015 in March. There was a lot of thoughts where I saw it and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Killer Croc isn't huge, and Jai Courtney is in this movie, and I don't know, that's not Enchantress to me. So I didn't know how to feel about it, but after they released the first trailer and then several others, it became clear that this movie would have a different tone. It would have a little bit more color to it. It would be dark. It would have an interesting tone of humor to it. And these characters would be very intriguing. To start it off, Will Smith was cast as Deadshot, and I love Will Smith, but I don't know, the Deadshot for me is like the Deadshot in the Arkham games or the Deadshot in Batman the Animated Series. Just a cold-hearted, calculated villain with a sense of humor. So I wasn't sure if I'd be able to see Deadshot and see Will Smith, if I could separate the two. But in this movie, it works very well. It really does ride on the shoulders of Will Smith and Margot Robbie. So Deadshot and Harley Quinn really carry this film, and they do an excellent job doing it. The remainder cast with Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. She plays a terrifying Amanda Waller, which is what we need, because Amanda Waller is, she is in some ways more cold-hearted and more deadly than the criminals themselves. And there is the idea that, yes, she is the devil, but she needs to play fire with fire. And I really enjoyed Viola Davis' performance. There were a lot of moments where I was literally sitting there in the theater like, oh my gosh, I'm so terrified of you right now. Jai Courtney, holy shit. Not a big fan of Jai Courtney. I didn't see Terminator Genesis. Ugh, I love Terminator, but I refuse to see that piece of crap. Really boring actor, actually. I can't even think of the other films that I've seen him in, but I've seen him in a few, and I was like, ugh, you are dull. Oh yeah, he was in that film with Bruce Willis, the Die Hard 6 film, and like, ugh. I was like, you have no personality. But his personality really comes through into this character. His Captain Boomerang was hilarious, and he reminded me of the Captain Boomerang from Assault on Arkham. If you've ever seen that animated movie, it's really, really good. It is basically Suicide Squad for that film. It was really well done, and he was hilarious, perfect comedic timing. I just think Jai Courtney should just stick with his Aussie accent, because that's what he's native to, and then he can bring more character into it. Stop doing American accents, Jai Courtney. Overall, I think it was really well done. You get a really good introduction to the different villains and their backstories, with the exception of Slipknot, which you need to see the film to understand why. the cast of Suicide Squad, the whole team, they really do link together. They have excellent chemistry, and David Ayer did a really good job of mixing the balance between action and shock with great character development moments. Like there's this bar scene where, amidst the chaos, all the characters go to this bar and they're just drinking, and you get some of the best, like, real people on people moments. Something that is lacking in that lacked in which did appear in Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, but Zack Snyder doesn't do a really good job at choosing the correct moment when to have those human character development moments. He decides to throw in too many moments with too many allegories of Jesus and everything, and it kind of just takes away from the film. So David Ayer did a really good job finding that balance. I also loved the comic book tone to it. When the characters got introduced, you saw, like, there was just a list of, like, their aliases, their talents, their skills and everything. It just felt like a comic book to me, and I really loved it. And I loved the jokes in it. It wasn't, like, I found the lines weren't as quippy as in Marvel films, but they worked really well. And some of it was dark humor, and I was like, damn, that's good writing right there. There were a few problems for me with the main villain, which I will reveal in my spoiler video. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. So after much thought and deliberation, I give Suicide Squad an 8 out of 10. Go see this movie, please. If you're a fan of comic books and superheroes and such, or geek culture, go and see Suicide Squad. Make your own opinion for this movie. Do not base it on what critics are saying on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a very fun ride. It's enjoyable. It's different. It's fresh. And I highly recommend it. So until next time, you can like and comment this video. Also subscribe to my channel if you're interested in the stuff I do. And as always, live long and prosper. Frosty.